All right, Nimi, let's start. तो निमी बताइए कि being a leader in organization, what are the challenges that you face? मतलब आज के टाइम में corporate में क्या challenges हैं और हम उसे कैसे recover करें when we talk about post pandemic, और pandemic तो अभी भी है जारी. तो सबसे पहले हम जानते हैं आपसे कि pandemic के situation में what is the current situation happening और इस चीज को employees कैसे deal करें? Over to you, ma'am. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So first of all, as a pandemic jab start hua tha, so let me say that, okay, earlier when we said about office was a place which is for the work, that is synonym to the work. So jab hum office se bhi bahar jate hain, remember we always say away from office in the emails or something like that. So that used to be the days earlier, but now the pandemic has completely changed. So now it is no more office equals to work, rather work or the office is just thing but a state of work. Okay, तो आपका काम होना चाहिए कि where you are doing it and how you are doing it. Now when pandemic started, as a leader, many of them, so we say, right, any change happens, it generally major scene changes are seen at the management level or at the leadership level or the managerial level. तो सबसे जरूरी जो होता है, that is as a leader or as a manager, was to manage the teams, because earlier you were able to call up your teams or you can go to their desk or resolve an issue. But now when all of them are on remote or virtual, how are you going to lead or manage? So that leadership skills, or what you call that people management skills, has come up as the most challenging part, because the fact is none of us are the perfect, because we are still evolving. Even in the office culture we see, being an HR, that is a major the dispute or the major thing which comes up. But think about all of a sudden when we move to the virtual world, so how are we going to manage? So that is some of the things which has come up, and of course, leading to the productivity as well. So that productivity, when I say that, obviously because we are working from virtual or the remote, so how the employees are able to manage, whether they have a different workstation. Not everyone is privileged to have a separate workstation or have an allocated works room, or how are they going to manage with their parents and the kids. So those were some of the things, the challenges which we had seen during the pandemic.
Thank you so much, Nimi. मैं म्यूट होके आपको सुन रही थी ताकि कोई डिस्टर्बेंस ना आए, बट आपने बहुत अच्छे पॉइंटर्स रखे. हाँ, चैलेंज है. There are a lot of pressure when we talk about psychological pressure and mental pressure. Each and every employees, और ऐसा नहीं कि सिर्फ HR है तो वो सब समझेंगे, वो भी end of the day वो इंसान है, तो प्रॉब्लम उनके साथ भी है. और आपने काफी अच्छे पॉइंटर बताया, तो being compassionate, एक दूसरे को समझे. चलिए नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन की तरफ बढ़ते हैं, which is आपको क्या लगता है कि एम्प्लॉइज कैसे बैक टू ऑफिस कर सके? जैसे आपने हमें बताया कि वर्क फ्रॉम होम से काफी दिक्कतें आ रही है और हर चीज वर्क फ्रॉम होम हम नहीं कर सकते. वी आर लूजिंग द कल्चर, we are missing the culture, we are losing the togetherness, compassion, collaborations, right? A lot of things are missing. So यहाँ पे back to office employees को कैसे लाया जाए और उसकी क्या महत्व है? Over to you, Nivi.
So जब हम बोलते हैं कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन या ऑफिस, ठीक है, तो नाउ फर्स्ट सिचुएशन वाज लाइक जब ऑफिस से नाउ वी हैव सेंड देम बैक टू होम, ठीक है, एंड अभी घर पे बैठ के, व्हाई? बिकॉज at home also, when we said about this virtual, which I said ki managerial skills, people skills, तो ये सब से क्या हुआ? End of the day, it is the trust factor, right? So as an employee, as a worker, मुझे अपनी organization के ऊपर एक trust आया कि yes, मैं घर से भी काम करूं, my manager trusts me, my co-workers are supportive, we all have become empathetic and trustworthy. अब वही चीज, that the same concept जो हमें घर पे है. Now, why the employees are working? Because they feel that we are safe. We are safe in a confined work from home, right? जो अभी पिछले एक साल से हुआ. Now, the same thing we need to bring it back to the office, right? जब हम कहते हैं कि वापस आना है, तो क्यों आना है? The same thing, the trust. कि आप आओगे, we trust us. We are the place is being sanitized, the place has been making sure that you and your family will be safe, you know. So in terms of various precautionary measures, like aapke, so basically aapke work is more going to be inspiring, you know. So that is more trust, empathy. We understand कि आप बिल्कुल जैसे पहले 9 to 5 ऑफिस आवर्स है, तो 9 to 5 आप नहीं आ सकते हो या रोज नहीं आ सकते हो. So those are the things, the flexibility, you know, the empathy, the compassion. So कौन कितने बजे आ सकता है? And now we know that not everyone can come to the office due to the government norms. So how are we trying to accommodate? All these things is what makes the employee come back to the workplace. So I feel trust plays an important role.
Superb, Nimi. I think these inputs are really important for all our people and the workplace, and जो भी लोग देख रहे हैं उनके लिए ज़्यादा important होगा. पर निमी, इसमें अगर हम बात करें कि offices as a policy making, because HR is all about policy making and driving the workforce management, यहाँ पे back to office में क्या plan और policies एक HR या company को अपनाना चाहिए? Over to you, Nimi.
So that's very good question. So when you say about again an organization, it is not only an HR, it is a combination of, we have facility management, we have an HR, right? And we have resource management, we have internal communication team. So हम एक task force बना सकते हैं, you know, as a team, because each of them bring their speciality. As an HR, probably I will be good with the people. Facility management is expertise in understanding about what the space is all about. Internal communication team knows about it, like, you know, what kind of communication, appropriate communication should go on. So a team comprising of, you know, 4-5 stakeholders who form a team and then plan out or the chalk out the plan on how we can bring people to the office. So first is about forming a team, and then based on those, like, you know, okay, the communication. So obviously the second thing comes abiding by the government norms or the state norms, the central norms. So there are certain places where they say, okay, fine, 30%, or where it is 40%. So ensuring that, okay, now it is 40%. So what kind of employees can come in? So how are they coming? So are we going to bring in as per the role wise, or is it department wise, or is it a location wise, or is it based on the, you know, the cadre or the grade wise? So what kind of people can we bring in? What kind of rosters can we put into the place? What kind of seating arrangements? Because when we wanted to come to the office, what is the physical space, distancing, and the general basic, you know, because till now we were very free to walk into the office anywhere, but now we have to wear masks, daily temperature check, you know. So contactless, probably, like, you have various digital devices. So how can we ensure that the common places has been, kept into such things where people have minimal contact, or the conference rooms, can it be utilized into some other space? So those are the things which can be put into the place. And of course, that's not possible alone by HR, by everyone together.
Great, Nimi. That was a great insight. I think आपने point wise काफी अच्छे से बताया कि emergency team बनाएं, आप response team बनाएं, और सभी का input बहुत जरूरी है. Not only HR, I think facility management जो आपने point बोला, wonderful said, Nimi. I think everybody should learn this. Going forward, निमी, अब आपको क्या लगता है, निमी, कि हमारा जो फ्यूचर है वो क्या है? हमने पूरे ऑलमोस्ट लाइक 1.5 इयर्स घर पे काम करके देख लिया है, काफी चीजें हमने सीखी है, महत्व ऑफ सोसाइटी प्लस फैमिली एंड लॉट ऑफ मेनी कंपैशन एंड लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स, राइट? बट व्हाट इज द मेन चैलेंज व्हेन वी टॉक अबाउट पोस्ट पैंडेमिक? पैंडेमिक आई एम श्योर खत्म होगा, पूरा खत्म नहीं होगा, बट धीरे धीरे स्टेजेस में खत्म होगा, और हम लोग फुल ऑक्यूपेंसी पे कब तक जाएंगे? पहला क्वेश्चन ये कि हम फुल ऑक्यूपेंसी पे कब तक जा सकते हैं. दूसरा क्वेश्चन आपसे, निमी, कि आपको क्या लगता है कि रिटर्न बैक टू ऑफिस कितना सेफ होगा? ओवर टू यू.
ओके, सो दीक्षा, वेरी गुड पॉइंट जो आपने बताया कि पैंडेमिक खत्म तो होगा, बट कब होगा, कैसे होगा? That is one thing again, क्योंकि हमेशा हर, जैसे कि फर्स्ट वेव की बात, again we had a hope, majority of us had a hope, and we were all gearing up, whether it was schools or whether it was organizations keep coming back to the office. ठीक है, by then unpredictable, unavoidable situation came, the second wave, and then we are forced to work from home. So probably second wave ke baad, third wave, that's what now we are hearing. And so whenever a situation, there is a hope to go back to the office, unavoidable situations come, and then that's why probably we are forced to work from home. But there are certain industries who are working. I think probably like if you say hospitality or for healthcare for that matter, or for manufacturing, so for them it is not work from home. So either they are going to the office because obviously they are at the workplace, if not nothing. Probably there are very few privileged industries who can work from home and things are going up. So when we say again, for specifically for those industries where work is not getting impacted, they can work from home. So for them, returning to the workplace is probably not going to be 100%. That's my point of view, at least for the scenario. But yes, we can definitely look for the hybrid model. I think that is going to be the next workplace. That's what if you remember, I started my conversation that office is not going to be the place. The physical office is not equivalent or will not be a synonym to the workplace, but your work is office, or which we call it is just a state of place, state of work. So it could be, when we say hybrid, so it could be, online and virtual remote work, or when you're going to the office. So important is whenever we return to the office, the important factor is how best can we make the best use of the place. That is, as you said, the social connectedness. We are missing that collaboration. We are missing those lunches, the coffee breaks, when many of the informal things comes up, where informal, because if things are not going good between a manager or the employer, as an HR, it is very difficult for me to understand, call up an employee and talk over the phone. Rather, I can just go up to his desk and then have a face-to-face meeting and resolve the issue. So those kind of things can be effectively utilized, when we are meeting at in person for the office. So that's what I said about the hybrid workplace, and the best things can be how effective we can make use of it. I hope that answers.
Yeah, of course, it does, it does. I think Nimi आपने fourth question का भी answer साथ में दे दिया, hybrid in all models. Perfect. All right निमी, तो आपने दो चीजें बताई थी अपनी conversation में बहुत सटीक से. पहला आपने बताया था कि कॉन्टैक्टलेस हम लोग जा रहे हैं, हम लोग मास्क हमेशा लगाएंगे और प्रोटोकॉल का पालन हमेशा करेंगे, इवन आफ्टर पोस्ट पैंडेमिक और इवन आफ्टर हम लोग ऑफिस में विद 30% ऑफ ऑक्यूपेंसी के साथ जाते हैं. बट यहाँ पे मेरा प्रश्न आपसे ये होगा कि उस दौरान एक एम्प्लॉय क्या बोलते हैं, गाड़ी से उतरता है या बस या किसी भी पब्लिक ट्रांसपोर्ट से उतरता है और ऑफिस में जाता है. इसके दौरान हम अपने कॉर्पोरेट्स को क्या सजेशन दे कि कॉर्पोरेट्स अपने एम्प्लॉय को वो सजेस्ट करे कि आपको इस पर्टिकुलर जो फेज है आपका, यहाँ पे तो आपका टेस्टिंग हो रही है, बट हमें दूसरों को भी नहीं फैलाना. मतलब हम अगर ऑफिस आ रहे हैं तो हो सकता है आफ्टर वैक्सीनेशन भी हमें कैरियर हो कि वो उसे कैरी करके आगे दे पाए, राइट? तो निमी, आपका इसमें क्या टेक होगा, वेयर वी हैव टू अवॉइड, even if you're going in public transport, we should avoid the contacts. So इस पे थोड़ा बताइए जब तक बंदा आपके ऑफिस में एंटर ना कर ले. Over to you.
Okay, so again, as I said, the norms to have के safety norms, so that is where the communication channels are very important. So आपकी जो communications है, that is from the organization to the team, that will not stop the way it is being going on, timely effectiveness, because we trust you, we want you and your family members safe, right? So it is a responsibility as an organization, as an employee also, on how we follow the norms. That is again the safety. So wearing a mask, maintaining the social distancing, and of course from the organization point of view also, we would be thinking on what are the common points. For example, as you said about the transport, whether they are coming in the public transport or whether it is the office transport, on how well that can be managed. If the organizer, if the employee, as you said, if it is coming into the office, but before that, if they have to meet any vendors or the suppliers, in the contact of it. So how, so those kind of communication to be kept in place, that is no regret, where we will not be meeting. So no regret policy kind of a thing can be designed, wherein, okay, if it is not that you have to meet at this particular time or at distance. So things have to be more of adaptive and flexible approach, wherein, and with the safety norms, because safety of course cannot be compromised, and trust is a factor which is being there mutual between the organization and the employee. So these two things is what matters matters most for the employee as well as for the organization, because every day we all are evolving. So when we see every organization is different, you will see different organization adopting a different model. Some of them are fully remote, some of them we want them to work in place, and some of them are adoptive hybrid. And same is the situation with the employees as well. Some of them might want to come to the workplace, some of them might not be. So how best we can avoid that contact coming to this, and also mentally and emotionally making sure the employee that these are the contactless, coming forward daily, as I said, temperature check. So probably you would be tracking, on which place you've been to, because these might be little important at initial days, though it might feel that it is a privacy matter because I have been checked, I have not been able to cross this road, or you have to enter, you went to this place. But then that is the new norm probably for the initial days till pandemic gets over.
Wonderful, Nimi. You answered everything so beautifully, so nicely. Great. Coming back to the next question, आपने अभी इस discussion में बताया कि contactless devices या कुछ ऐसे हम लोग utilize कर सकते हैं. तो आप मुझे ये बताइए, निमी, कि being a company or being an HR or being anybody in the organization, उनका जो लोग उस top पे होते हैं, you are being a leader, right? उनका कर्तव्य होता है सभी को social distancing maintain करना. ठीक है, एक होता है protocol पढ़ना, पर ऑब्वियसली अगर 9 से 5 होंगे तो हम दोस्तों के साथ चाय कॉफी पियेंगे, कॉफी का कप रखेंगे, चाय का बटन दबाएंगे. तो वो जो टच पॉइंट्स है उसे हम ऑफिस में पोस्ट पैंडेमिक वापसी के बाद अगर 20% भी ऑक्यूपेंसी में हम चालू करते हैं, तो ये जो टच पॉइंट है इसे हम टूल्स, टेक्नोलॉजी या किस टेक्निक्स के कैसे हम लोग इसे मैनेज करें, उसका क्या प्रोसीजर होना चाहिए? वो चाहिए. Go ahead.
Okay. So that now for this question only, I said that resource team, the stakeholders, your team, facilities, resource management, HR. So that team comes into the place. So when we talk about again workplace, bringing back to people into work, before that, I mean, as इस team का importance ये भी है, they are going to plan and chalk out the physical space, as well as also about your, when I said conference room and other things also, whether do we have a budget, right, to modify the workstations, as you said, now जो pantry हो गया, the work cafeteria हो गया, so can we make those changes and bring on new technology or new gadgets wherein there are no contactless touching, no contactless, people can come, or they can have it at the workplace, or have a main social distancing. So those are the tools which the team, technology team, the facilities team could come together. And of course cost plays an important role, because now organization have to play, because during the pandemic when they shifted to work from home, the infrastructure cost was not there, but then it was on a technology cost. A lot of VPN costs, VPNs have been put into the place, software upgrades have been put into licensing, so we had invested in those kind of costing. Now when we are coming back to it, now there's a different kind of cost optimization which we have to do it. So that is towards the contactless, whether it is attendance in the cafeteria, the workstation, workplace. So all those things on how best we can bring in the new tools and new technology. And so it all goes around with the costing, and with the appropriate department like admin, facilities plays a great role. So I hope that answers the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, absolutely. आपने summarize बहुत अच्छे से किया कि जैसे ही बंदा अंदर आता है, ऑफिस में आते ही वहां से शुरू हो जाता है housekeeping, facility, then comes to an HR, right? So I think all these department plays a vital role. Costing, of course, yes, costing का ज़्यादा महत्व है, because आपने जैसे सही बताया, आपने सारा costing लोगों के होम को सेट करने में लगा दिया। मतलब जो आपका वर्क स्पेस होम के लिए बनेगा, घर में जो वर्क स्पेस बन रहा है, उसमें काफी कंपनीज ने मशीन्स दिए, काफी कंपनीज ने लाइसेंसिंग खरीदे, लॉट ऑफ अ बिग अमाउंट ऑफ कॉस्ट हैज बीन अकर्ड ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर। एब्सोल्युटली करेक्ट। ओके निमी, तो अब हम नेक्स्ट पढ़ते हैं। आपका लास्ट कोई मैसेज हो निमी जो हमारे सभी लोगों को प्रोत्साहित करे कि वैक्सीनेशन लग गया है? पहले तो वैक्सीनेशन के लिए जरूर जाएं, प्लीज आप उस पर एम्फेसाइज करिएगा कि वैक्सीनेशन क्यों जरूरी है। दूसरा एम्फेसाइज आप करिएगा निमी कि बैक टू ऑफिस आना कितना ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है, और हमारे जितने भी भाई बहन है कॉर्पोरेट्स में वो बैक टू ऑफिस आने से कतरा रहे हैं। तो इसमें आपका एक सजेशन या आपका कोई भी तरीके का पॉइंट वहां पे हमें क्लैरिफाई करेगा, लोगों के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होगा। तो और फिर लास्ट कोई मैसेज जो आप देना चाहें, वो टू यू निमी प्लीज, वी विल लव टू हियर।
Okay. So of course, the most important, the government and we all have already seen, and I would say that some of us have seen the situation very worst, and some of them might be privileged to not see, but they have heard about it. So as an empathetic, the leaders must be empathetic, क्योंकि कुछ लोग हैं जिन्होंने बहुत ही very mostly देखा होगा situation very badly, and might be some of them moderate, and for some of them they wouldn't have seen and touch wood, but then they have been occupied at their home because taking care of their parents, kids with such situation also. So when with all these things, yes, not everybody might be willing to work from office, but yes, there are some of the people who are not able to, as I said, they are not be privileged to have a separate workstation or to get the gadgets, devices at home. So they are definitely looking forward. There are certain people, because obviously when you are in working from the office, you had a set of routine. 8 बजे उठना है and 9 बजे ऑफिस पहुंचना है, and by 9 o'clock you will have your breakfast. By 2 o'clock, even if you don't want, your colleagues will push you to have lunch. But those things have been missing probably at home because you are so much glued in front of the screen. So obviously your health posture, the way you sit, so your health has taken a toll over there. And third thing is definitely, when you have work-life balance. So now what happened when you are logging off from your work, from your office, to the play time when you reach home, that reach ka jo distance hai, whether you are driving, whether you are sitting in a public transport, you get disassociated from your professional identity before you come to the personal identity. So there was a disassociation. Now, when you're working from home, we are glued to the screen, we are at the same workstation, and all those things, hardly there are any disassociation. So I think with all these factors, there are people who are literally looking forward to back to the office. And because those lunch breaks, you cannot replace that coffee breaks and lunch breaks, though virtual collaboration happens, but there are certain things which cannot be replaced. But all these things comes with vaccination, proper wearing mask, and distancing. So we are very, human beings are social animal. So we love being social, that nobody can deny it. But we are also very adaptive, and that this pandemic has taught us that if we can work from office to work from home, we can definitely be adaptive in maintaining distancing and wearing masks, daily temperature check, and probably the health precautionary measures for you as well as for the family. So keep safe.
सुपर्ब निमी, क्योंकि आपने बहुत कुछ बताया तो मेरे मन में एक छोटा सा सवाल है आपसे पूछने का कि बहुत लोग अभी भी कॉर्पोरेट में डर रहे हैं, वैक्सीनेशन लेने के बाद भी झिझक रहे हैं। तो निमी, ऐसे में एक इंडस्ट्री लीडर कि क्या वो एक वर्ड होना चाहिए या वो बोलते हैं ना, एक मुहिम होना चाहिए कि डरो मत, पहले डरेंगे नहीं तो ही तो हम आएंगे ऑफिस, राइट? तो अभी है वो थोड़ा सा डर है, क्योंकि ऑब्वियसली आई अंडरस्टैंड ये जो पूरा हमने सेकेंड वेव देखा, काफी चीजें हम अगर पर्सनली नहीं तो हमने आसपास तो देखी है। लास्ट ईयर हम लोगों ने देखा था कि चलो दूर में हम सुन पा रहे थे, बट राइट नाउ इट हैपेंड एट माय होम, इट हैपेंस नियर बाय नेबर्स, सो इट इम्पैक्टेड अस रियली बैड। यहाँ पे जो डर निकालने वाला जो है, क्योंकि आप साइकोलॉजी भी समझते हो, आप लोगों को बैक टू हैप्पी मोड में भी करते हो, आप ये सारे चीज के, यू आर हैप्पीनेस कोच एज वेल, सो कैन यू हेल्प अस टू अंडरस्टैंड कि स्पिरिट्स को अपने साथ कैसे रखे, स्पिरिचुअल कैसे बने, और इस टफ सिचुएशन में अपने माइंड को स्ट्रॉन्ग कैसे करे? ओवर टू यू निमी, दैट वुड बी माय लास्ट क्वेश्चन.
So for that, most important, I think again the leaders and the management plays an important role. So जिस तरीके से हमने as a leader and people manager have taken the skills training for the people manager to manage it virtually for their teams. Now, since now some of them are really good and some of them are still learning. Now again, that skills would keep important, because when you're going for a hybrid also, it is going to have important, because kuch log aapke obviously physical rahenge and there are some of them who will be attending the meeting virtually. So how best you are going to communicate, that plays an important role. Aapki people management skills. So as a leader, as a manager, very important is that all the wellness, holistic wellness plays an important role. So I'm not saying about just a wellness, होलिस्टिक वेलनेस, क्योंकि आज की डेट पे हमारे लिए सब कुछ जरूरी है, भले ही हमारा फिजिकल हो, इमोशनल हो, सोशल वेलनेस हो, so everything plays an important role. And that's why I say that being a leader or being a manager, it's very important to practice our wellness, the wellness approach, or have a wellness session or take a training apart from your skills as well. So that will definitely give. एंड मैं पहले भी जो बोल चुकी हूँ और जो हमेशा ही रहता है, ट्रस्ट फैक्टर. सो वेदर इन द ऑफिस, वेदर इन द वर्चुअल, कहीं पे भी हो, विदाउट अ ट्रस्ट फैक्टर इट विल नॉट बी पॉसिबल. सो बाकी चीजें जैसे एम्पैथी, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, अडेप्टेबिलिटी, ऑल दीज थिंग्स वुड हैव, हमने काफी सीखा है, एंड आई एम श्योर नाउ पीपल आर रियली गुड एट coming through this approach.
Superb, superb, Nimi. I'm sure people will feel so proud. People should feel that emotion, that connect कि यार वापस जाना है, हमने वैक्सीन लिया है, तो एक क्या बोलते हैं, जिम्मेदारी के साथ, प्रोसीजर्स के साथ, जिम्मेदारी के साथ हमें आगे वापस इकोनॉमी तो बढ़ानी है, right? So that's very important. Absolutely correct, Nimi. Absolutely. Any last word for people?
And one more thing is, yes, as a manager, so it is not a responsibility that we want only the employees. We want their family members' trust is also important. So when we pass on that message, when we have that trust factor for the employees, that the way you're working at your home, because you're confined in that four walls, is the same trust, the same safety, is what you're going to get at your workplace, not only for you, for your family members as well. So obviously there are various policies which have been included, your health policy, insurance policy. So all those have already been included, and there are new additions which have come up, obviously being changes in the policy. So the trust factor for the employees, and giving a proud feeling, recognizing their family members, that they, because of their support, the employees able to, some kind of recognition, to their family members plays an important role. Because I would give an example of which gives, that security guards, like, okay, let's take the defense person, border security force. So they are standing at the border, and that's why we feel safe. And why do they work? They do not work for money. They are proud because of their role, that the work what they do, the whole country is safe. And similar is the situation during the pandemic. We have seen our apartments, security guards. So whatever the situation is, the whole building we have seen, has been locked down or it's been sealed because of COVID cases. But the security guards are still at the gate. Why? Because he's proud. He's been recognized that because of me, people are safe. So if we can bring that kind of feeling, to the work, to the every employee, that because of you, your work impacts a lot. Your family members, we are proud of it. So that is what matters, bringing them to the work. That's what I would say.
Perfect, Nimi. Last point काफी emotional था, काफी, अगर लोग आपके last point को समझेंगे तो seriously, it's very, very emotional, very emotional. I think that made my day. You should feel that compassion, you should feel that emotion. फैमिली से भी और उन लोगों से भी. तो ट्रस्ट भी एक पॉइंट है, बहुत बड़ा पॉइंट, बट इमोशन आज के टाइम में अगर नहीं है तो नहीं चल पाएगा. इमोशन हैज टू टेक प्लेस. थैंक यू so much, Nimi. I'm really grateful that you're here in the show once again, and we're talking about back to office and how to come back, like how to motivate people to come back to office. So thank you so much, Nimi. I'm really, really grateful to you and your time. Thank you.
Thank you, Diksha, for hosting me again, and it's really a pleasure to be on your show.
Always, always. Miss you. Take care, and
Okay.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.